Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting a brand new series, a series that has been long overdue. The music of Abba. Yes, finally. I've been wanting to do this series since like 2020, and here we are, finally. The music of the one and only Abba. Abba, formerly known as Bjorn and Benny, Agneta, and Frida are a Swedish pop group formed in Stockholm in 1972. The group's name is an acronym of the first letters of their first names, arranged as a palindrome. I did not know that. See, we're only 10 seconds into this video and I already learned something brand new about them. One of the most popular and successful music groups of all time, they became one of the best-selling music acts in history of popular music, topping the charts worldwide from 1974 to 1983 and in 2021. In 1974, Abba were Sweden's first winner of the Eurovision Song Contest with the song Waterloo. They are one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with record sales estimated to be between 150 million to 385 million records sold worldwide. They are the best-selling Swedish band of all time and the best-selling band originating in continental Europe. Abba were inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2002, and the group were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010. In 2015, their song Dancing Queen was inducted into the Recording Academy's Grammy Hall of Fame. Now I am going back to where it all started, with their debut studio album released back in 1973 called Ring Ring. I am looking at the track list and there are 14 tracks I'll be listening to for a total of 42 minutes, and I also don't recall hearing any of these songs before. So without further ado, let's finally dive right into the album with track 1, Ring Ring. That was track 1, Ring, 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 yes. Okay, so I quite liked this song. It's catchy as hell, and the overall instrumental was great. I liked the guitar riffs. I was sitting by the phone, I was waiting all alone. Baby, by myself, I sit and wait and wonder about you. It's a dark and dreary night. Seems like nothing is going right. Won't you tell me, honey? How can I go on here without you? Yes, I'm down and feeling blue, and I don't know what to do. Ring, ring. Why don't you give me a call? Ring, ring. The happiest sound of them all. Ring, ring. I stare at the phone on the wall, and I sit all alone and patiently. This song is quite relatable, I won't lie. I feel like we've all been here at one point. Now, Ring Ring was selected as the third single from the album. It tells the story of a lover waiting alone by the telephone for the object of her desire to call. After the success of People Need Love in 1972, their manager, Stig Anderson, realized the potential of coupling the vocal talents of the women with the writing talents of the men. I essentially liked everything about this track. I liked the chorus, the melody, it was quite catchy, and the instrumental, and just the overall singing was great. It kind of reminds you of being a teenager all over again, sitting by the landline, just eagerly waiting for your crush to call you. Sometimes they do call you, but other times they don't, and they don't ever call you again. But anyway, let's move on to track 2, Another Town, Another Train.
It's dawning and I must go, but I told you somewhere down the line I just have to move along. Just another town, another train. Don't give my restless soul a little patience. Yes, I will spend my life in railway stations. You wake, I know you cry, and the dreams we dreamed were made of sand. Just another town, another train. Don't give my restless soul a little patience. Yes, I will spend my life in railway stations, waiting in the morning rain. Just another town, another train. Yes, I will spend my life in railway stations.
That was track 2, Another Town, Another Train. And this track is just as good as the previous track, Ring Ring. I loved it just as much, and it's just as memorable. And I like the lyrics. This track at times reminded me of a Simon and Garfunkel song, in particular the verses. Now it looks like Another Town, Another Train was selected as the 4th single from the album. Day is dawning and I must go. You're asleep, but still I'm sure you'll know why I had to end this way. You and I had a groovy time, but I told you somewhere down the line you would have to find me gone. I just have to move along. Just another town, another train. Nothing lost and nothing gained. Guess I will spend my life in railway stations. When you wake, I know you'll cry. And the words I wrote to say goodbye, they won't comfort you at all. This is a tragedy. So maybe she's going to all these different towns via train, and perhaps she's falling in love with these different people, but she has to move on to another town, so she essentially breaks their heart. And when I say she, I also mean he as well. It could be a he instead. The nouns really are interchangeable depending on how you look at the song. I also liked the instrumental on this track. There was some sort of flute being played. One thing I like about Abba's vocals so far is not only do I like their individual singing, but their harmonies also are absolutely divine. Anyway, let's move on to track 3, Disillusion.
Stop myself from crying out loud, but then they never shared our love. Disillusion song you left for me. When my world is breaking down, you're all I have. That's all I have. Disillusion. That's all.
That was track 3, Disillusion, another gorgeous track on the album. In particular, her voice. I don't know which female vocalist it is of the group. I'm still familiarizing myself with their voices. I don't know if it was Annie or Agnita. I also hope I'm pronouncing their names right. Her voice kind of reminded me of Olivia Newton-John. I also loved the melody of this song, the overall energy. Changing, moving, in a circle, I can see your face in all of my dreams, smiling, laughing from the shadows. When I hear your voice, I know what it means. I know it doesn't matter just how hard I try. You're all the reason for my life. Disillusion's all you left for me. How can I forget you when my world is breaking down? You're all I had. You're all I want. This really is a beautiful track. In ways, it's also quite heartbreaking, but it's beautiful and I quite liked it. I can't stop myself from crying out loud. They say my wound will heal and only leave a scar, but then they never shared our love. It does say here that Agnita was the songwriter as well as the singer on this track. But let's move on to track 4, People Need Love.
People need hope, people need loving, people need faith in a helping hand. Man has always wanted a woman by his side to keep him company. Gotta have love to carry on living. Gotta have love. People need hope, people need loving, people need trust from a fellow man. La 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 la. We sing a dance that never ends. Somebody who loves you and somebody who cares. Isn't that what you call a friend? People need hope, people need loving, people need faith in a helping hand. La 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 la. People need loving, trust from a fellow. La 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 la.
That was track 4, People Need Love, and this is such an optimistic, feel-good song. People need hope, people need lovin', people need trust from a fellow man, people need love to make a good living, people need faith and a helping hand. Man has always wanted a woman by his side to keep him company. Women always knew that it takes a man to get matrimonial harmony. Flowers in a desert need a drop of rain, like a woman needs her man. If a man's in love and his woman wants the moon, then he'll take it down if he can. This is one of those obnoxiously optimistic songs that I imagine would maybe drive some people crazy, especially with na 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 na. The song is about what people can give each other to make their lives easier and create a better world. Honestly, in this day and age, in 2022, we need more songs like this. It's so simple, but it's so true and honest. Now, this was released as the lead single from the album, and at the time of the song's release, the Ring Ring album had not been planned since there was no intention to form a permanent group. However, the song was included on the album the following year, and although recorded earlier than most of the album, the song can retroactively be considered the lead single from Ring Ring. I mean, we are 4 tracks into this album, and so far, I've enjoyed all the songs, and I would listen to all of these songs again. Anyway, let's move on to track 5, I Saw It in the Mirror.
I saw it in the mirror that I no longer needed. When I look into my eyes, when this boy cries, this boy cries. I know you say you love me, it doesn't really bother you. This boy cries, but honey, I will miss you till the day I die. I saw it in the mirror. Anyone can take my place. Something sure is wrong when this boy cries. This boy cries.
That was track 5, I Saw It in the Mirror, and this track was quite interesting. I really didn't know what to make of it initially, but then towards the halfway point, it started to grow on me, and then by the end, I actually grew to like it. I was kind of surprised with the vocals on this track, given how slow-paced they are. I saw it in the mirror, I saw it in my face, that I no longer needed. Anyone can take my place. I saw it in the mirror when I look into my eyes, cause something sure is wrong when this boy cries. Why I also like this song is because we hear lyrics like when this boy cries, and typically in music, we don't hear lyrics like that about a boy crying or a man crying. I've listened to many albums on my channel, and it's very rare to come across lyrics like this. A boy crying. When this boy cries, this boy cries. I saw it in the mirror, my head is hanging low. And it's refreshing, at least for me. I think overall, this song is quite refreshing to listen to. Now, according to Bright Lights, Dark Shadows, the real story of Abba, this song holds the dubious distinction of being the least liked ABBA track ever among the group's hardcore fans. According to ABBA, Let the Music Speak, this song was an uninspired attempt at laid-back R&B. It also refers to the song as less remarkable, a filler track, and lacking trademark ABBA vocal ambience. I kind of had that same impression too when I was listening to the song. I was a bit confused, and I was thinking to myself, this is probably my least favorite track on the album so far. And that still might be the case, but I don't think it's horrible. I would listen to it again. I mean, I didn't find it particularly bad like a lot of other people did. It was kind of different and unexpected, and I didn't mind it. Like I said, it's not one of my favorites on the album, but I still enjoy myself. Anyway, let's move on to track 6, Nina Pretty Ballerina.
Every day in the morning on her way to the office, just a face among a million faces, just another woman with no name. 'Cause I know she's got a little secret. Nina, pretty ballerina, just like Cinderella. This is the part that she likes to play. So she's back every morning to her work at the office. Doesn't talk very often, kind of shy and uncertain. Everybody seems to think she's a bore. Nina, pretty ballerina, just like Cinderella. This is the part that she likes to play. She would like to play it every day. Nina, pretty ballerina, who never think she could be this way.
That was track 6, Nina Pretty Ballerina. And this song was incredibly catchy. It kind of does get stuck in your head, especially that chorus. I do like the story of the song. I like the lyrics. Every day in the morning on her way to the office, you can see her as she catches a train, just a face among a million faces, just another woman with no name. But she's still something special. If you knew her, I am sure you'd agree, because I know she's got a little secret. She is Nina Pretty Ballerina. But then unfortunately, she has to go back to her normal boring life, working in the office, 9 to 5, and another week to live in a dream, and another row of early mornings. So it looks like on the weekends, Nina becomes a ballerina. I don't know if it's metaphorically or she actually goes to a theater and performs as a ballerina. And then during the week, she kind of daydreams and she works her boring 9 to 5 office job. Just looking at her, you would never know she does what she does on the weekend, being a ballerina. And that very much is true. Whether it's coworkers or random people on the street, you really don't know what someone's passions are and what they really want to do with their life. You look at, I mean, for example, when I used to work in retail, I've had many different retail jobs throughout my life, and you just kind of don't think about your coworkers in the sense of, I wonder what they want to do with their life. I wonder what their passions are, their aspirations. What do they do on the weekends? What do they secretly do when they're not working this job? I also worked with someone who, she actually wasn't an aspiring dancer. She was a dancer. She was a classically trained dancer. And that's what she did outside of work. And I would never have guessed that just by looking at her. I guess the same goes for me as well. I remember telling people I was an aspiring writer, author, and that I had self-published books, and they would be like, really? I just think of all the office workers and the retail workers and fast food workers just, I guess, everyday working class people who work in offices or what have you and have a 9 to 5 job. I wonder what their passions are and what they would actually love to do with their lives creatively, whether it be a cook or a writer, or maybe they want to be an athlete or a singer or an actor, or maybe they wanted to be a veterinarian, maybe they wanted to be a nurse, who knows, but they're kind of stuck in these jobs. And I mean, I've been there and I know how that feels. I did like listening to the song for the first time. It's not really a song I would listen to again. I think it's quite catchy, I like the story, but it just, when it comes to replay value, I think listening to this track once was enough. Anyway, let's move on to track 7, Love Isn't Easy, but Sure Is Hard Enough. Probably my favorite part. That was track 7, Love Isn't Easy, but Sure Is Hard Enough, and this was a nice song. I like the overall production, but I will say this is one of my least favorite tracks on the album so far. I don't know, I didn't find it particularly memorable, and it just didn't really resonate with me. Do you remember the first time, and all of your sweet, sweet talk? Ain't heard it a lot since then, love. Now look at that guy, he's making me cry. He leaves everybody and he only says goodbye. But if I would have to choose, I wouldn't let you go. Just give it some more time and you will see. Our love will grow, darling, I know. We gotta have patience. Love isn't just a sensation. Some of the time it gets rough. Love isn't easy, but it sure is hard enough. So I guess I do like the lyrics. They're nothing to really write home about. His vocals are quite calm, but she sounds a bit more aggressive and angry. This was selected as the 6th single from the album, and the song describes the common phenomenon of a quarrel between lovers, and although the song's title seems to be self-contradictory, it's unlikely that it pertains to a sexual double entendre as some have believed it to be. Love isn't easy, but sure is hard enough. I honestly didn't think of the sexual double entendre when I read that. I did like listening to the song for the first time, but it's not really a song I would listen to again. But let's move on to track 8, Me and Bobby and Bobby's Brother. That was track 8, Me and Bobby's Brother, and this was another nice song on the album. I thought it was catchy, and I like the story of the song, and I will say I do like the songwriting on this album. I like the stories they're telling in all these songs. Well, there was me and Bobby and Bobby's brother. Please take me back to that place where I've got all my memories. Those were my happiest days. I remember all the games we used to play. I really do. And I went to see them almost every day I wanted to. Though we quarreled at times and had a few fights, we were the best of friends. We found a place in the sun and have enough fun. And there was me and Bobby's brother, wildest kids you could see. So it looks like she was playing with Bobby and Bobby's brother. What they were doing, I don't know. I ain't gonna say anything. The song is about a woman reminiscing about her childhood friends. I did think the song was quite catchy. I mean, all of these songs I've listened to so far have been incredibly catchy, especially the choruses. They kind of just get stuck in your head and you kind of just want to do this. Swing your body from side to side. This was a solid track, but I really wouldn't listen to it again. Anyway, let's move on to track 9. He Is Your Brother. That was track 9, He Is Your Brother. And this is another solid track on the album. I like the chorus. I mean, just like all the other songs, the chorus is quite catchy. And I also like the story of the song. I like the lyrics and what they stand for. I was a fighter, always looking for trouble, and my life was so empty, there was nothing left to live for. But then it happened one night, as I got into a fight, I could hear someone saying as though he was praying, treat him well, he is your brother. You might need his help one day. We depend on one another. Love him, that's the only way. I was a woman never thinking of others, and my life was so lonely, didn't care for anybody. But then I happened to meet a baggy man in the street. As I turned down his praying, I heard someone saying, treat him well, he is your brother. I like these lyrics. It's just about treating your fellow man with respect and treat him well. I also think it's about karma. Treat someone well and others will treat you well. Love makes the world go round. I did like listening to this song for the first time, but it's not really a song I would play again. He Is Your Brother was selected as the second single from the album, and it contains, or I should say, it continues the lyrical theme from People Need Love, about reaching out to your fellow man. The song was one of the early favorites among the group members, and was the only song from the group's first album, which was performed during the group's 1977 tour of Europe and Australia. Oh, really? So it is clear that this song is one of Abba's favorites from this album in particular. But I also think there are also a lot of other great songs on here as well. Anyway, let's move on to track 10, She's My Kind of Girl.
Look at her face, it's a wonderful face, and it means something special to me. She's just my kind of girl, she makes me feel fine. She's just my kind of girl, without her I'm blue. What could I do? And when we go for a walk in the park, walking for hours and talking about all the things that we planned, who could
That was track 10, She's My Kind of Girl. And I really did not care for this song at all. It is definitely one of my least favorites, if not my least favorite. I personally think this song has zero replay value. Look at her face, it's a wonderful face, and it means something special to me. Look at the way that she smiles when she sees me. How lucky can one fellow be? She's just my kind of girl, she makes me feel fine. Who could ever believe that she would be mine? I also really didn't like the lyrics. They're quite uninspired and just quite generic. I will say though, this song did kind of remind me of an early sounding Beatles song. Anyway, let's move on to track 11, I Am Just a Girl.
I am just a girl, one among the others, not a special type in any way. It's an evil world that has only made me just another girl. No one ever looks at. I can't believe it's true. When you smile, I was meant to be your girl. It's a funny feeling when you get to love someone so much more than any words can say. Just another girl, no one ever looks at. Can't believe it's true. When you smile, I was meant to be your girl. La 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 la. When you smile and whisper I love you, I was meant to be your girl.
That was track 11, I Am Just a Girl. And I did like this track. I like the chorus and the melody. I thought it was quite sweet. It's about this insecure girl who's just another face in the crowd. But you looked her way and you said and whispered, I love you. Darling, I could see I was meant to be your girl. I am just a girl, not the kind of woman men would like to meet, just another girl no one ever looks at in the street. But today, I can't believe it's true. You smiled and whispered, I love you. So it looks like she found her Prince Charming. She never thought she would find a partner because she sees herself as a woman, the type of woman that most men don't want. But he wanted her, and it's such a sweet song, it really is. It's not a song I would listen to again, to be honest, but I did like listening to it for the first time. I thought it was sweet. But anyway, let's move on to track 12, Rock and Roll Band. That was track 12, Rock and Roll Band, and I quite enjoyed myself. This is probably my favorite song from the second half of the album. And I was definitely getting Friday night, Saturday night vibes in the 1970s. A high school dance or some sort of community center, some sort of social, and everyone just dancing and having a good time. Sitting in the darkest corner in the candlelight, I saw her face. She was looking so sad and lonely. Someone help me. Someone save me. I could see the look she gave me. Oh yeah. And there was one thing only that I knew I could do. Let's go, girl. It's a beautiful place, this world. Come on, baby, let's dance. The rock and roll band. A sad, lonely girl sitting in the corner. Everyone else has a partner, but she doesn't. And this guy notices her sitting by herself. And he comes along and says, come on, baby, let's dance to the rock and roll band. I think it's sweet. I think it's fun. And I like the overall production. I would definitely listen to this song again. Anyway, let's move on to track 13, Merry Go Round.
I have tried in vain, never had success. I have lost my only friend. Merry go round, where am I bound? Who wants to kiss me and hug me and miss me? Life is so lonely, if life is just lonely. Looking for someone who would want to stay, but who knows? So until then, merry go round, where am I bound? Who wants to kiss me and hug me and miss me? Merry go round, wish I had found. If life is just lonely, to love when my loving. Merry go round, who wants to kiss me? I wish that I knew it. Merry go round, life is so lonely. If life is just lonely.
That was track 13, Merry Go Round. And I liked listening to this track. I thought it was a nice track, but I did find my mind was drifting throughout the song, and I really don't have a lot to say about it. I mean, it is cute. I wish I knew it, Merry Go Round. Wish I had found somebody to care for. Where am I bound? Life is so lonely. If life is just only to love with my loving, goes round and round, merry go round. It's one of those songs that I liked listening to for the first time, but for me, it doesn't really warrant another listen. Anyway, we have made it to the end of the album, track 14, Santa Rosa.
I'd give anything to be back home in Santa Rosa, 'cause I have found no other place where I would stay along the way. Though I wonder what my folks would think about me now, but in the end, somehow I know we get along. Santa Rosa, I'll be back to stay. Santa Rosa, I'll be back. How I wish to see the old house where I used to live. Santa Rosa, I'd give anything to be back home in Santa Rosa.
That was track 14, Santa Rosa. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with this song. There really isn't. I kind of wanted it to be over. It's a very pleasant sounding song, but there really isn't anything memorable about it. I give anything to be back home at Santa Rosa. How I wish this road would take me home where I belong, 'cause I have found no other place where I would stay. I'm tired and all my dreams have failed along the way. I give anything to be back home in Santa Rosa, though I wonder what my folks would think about me now. How I wish to see the old house where I used to live, and all my friends will be there when I come home. How I regret the day when I set out to roam. Santa Rosa, I'll be back to stay. So I really do like the story and the lyrics. That's probably my favorite part of the song. It's about leaving home to pursue your dreams and aspirations, and maybe after a few years they just don't work out, so you go back home and you just miss home. You miss your family, your friends, you miss your childhood home, and you just want to go back to where you grew up. I mean, same. So that was all 14 tracks of Ring Ring by Abba. And this was such a great experience. Their debut album. and I thought it was nice. There are a lot of great catchy songs on here. A lot of catchy songs, actually, that get stuck in your head. I liked the overall production of this album. All the instruments and just overall the compositions were quite nice to listen to. I also liked all the stories they shared with me on this album. A lot of talk of childhood and youth and also love and being insecure and kind of just being another face in the crowd, but having dreams and aspirations to be something more and coming across your Prince Charming who kind of sweeps you off your feet. You don't think you're particularly interesting, but this guy thinks you're interesting. So he swoops in and says, I love you, and you start to form a relationship with him. There's also talk of quarrels in relationships, the conflicts that come with being in love. They also sing about love for your fellow brother and fellow sister, your fellow man, and everyone needs love, and treat people with love and dignity and respect. I thought the first half was a lot more memorable than the second half. There are quite a few songs on the second half that I did like listening to for the first time, but I really wouldn't play them again. I also loved their vocals, of course, their solo moments, but also their harmonies together as a group. You really can hear the love in their voices when they sing. This was only their debut album, their first album, so I'm very much excited to hear where they go next with all their other albums. So what did you guys think of this album, and what are your impressions of it? It looks like this is their lowest rated album out of their entire catalog. So in my next ABBA video, we will move on to their second album called Waterloo from 1974. So look out for that video next time, and thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, you can message me and say, hey, how are you? And I will see you next time. Take care.